Peace and blessings, family. This is your boy Gerald. It is Sunday. I know I told you that I would put a video out after I was done, and unfortunately I was unable to follow through with that because I was extremely tired. And a day later, actually 48 hours later, I wanted to make good on that. Because this only validates my point. So now you get to see a better perspective of what I was talking about. That's where the lightning hit it. Took out all this. See, I still got a branch up there I gotta get to eventually. But it took out this whole area, and that's the main area, the main part of the tree. Notice all the vines. And came down, and then so you can see it even better at that shot right here. But this whole area all the way out, this whole area was the canopy. So you can imagine, to my surprise, waking up, just like any problem that has nothing to do with you, but it's placed in front of you to deal with. This could be something that just by indirect contact, just by association. Oh yeah. And then when you're persistent, you do your yard. Well, this is a side yard. Because if you're gonna do it, you do it right. You do the best of your ability. All the way down to the fence line down there. Yeah, you see the fence. All the way to here. Of course, I had to do some pruning right there too. But anyway, to get to my point, I wanted to make good and follow up, because I know that some of you actually want to see it. And just like you have responsibilities. You have obligations that you have to take care of, and sometimes you have to prioritize things. And short and sweet, that was my last day off, and I had to go to work yesterday, and that's back to back being tired. But I got up first thing this morning. That's why I looked like I got ran over. And trying everything I can check my hair. I know normally, you know, it looks like I just wear it free now, and I do. Because I'm grateful for the fact that I got hair growing. Some people don't have that, so I don't complain. It flows and grows wherever it wants. So nonetheless, to get back to my point, you know, you have certain circumstances that happen that have nothing to do with you, but no matter how much you try to sidestep, to mind your P's and Q's. Oh yeah, that's the front yard. That's the front yard. Alright, you kind of get indirectly sucked into it. That's why nowadays people, family, it's always be mindful of what you say. But more importantly, be cognitive of how you react, how you respond. Because we live in a hypersensitive world now, where taking accountability for your actions, but yet looking at who you are in regards to ethics and morals, that kind of takes a back seat these days. It's all about being, sensationalizing, or what we say, drama feeding, because that basically feeds the attention of the audience. And when you don't come with that, they go and seek it out wherever it is, like a bleeding wound. Can't worry about that, because that same energy is the same energy that will come back. No matter how you rationalize it, it's the same. It's divine intervention. You may call it just because. You may call it it's fate. You may say it's karma. Or you may just say what I always say, to be neutral or impartial. Same energy put out is the same energy that comes back. Energy out is energy returned. Yeah. So, at the end of the day, it is being accountable for your actions. But we live in a world where people want accountability and notoriety with an audience. And when you think about it, that kind of compromises the whole point of being alive, don't it? Because you don't need an audience to be alive, do you? You don't need an audience to brush your teeth. But you will get an audience when you don't come correct. Who am I speaking to? Now let's tie this in. I could have easily took the typical route that some may choose and said, well, you know, that's not my problem. The leaves will fall off. Eventually, nature will take its course through oxygenizing and natural breakdown, and it'll fall apart eventually, and just left it where it is, or let the chips fall where they fall. I could have done that, but I ain't built like that. And granted, that property line, it's not my responsibility because I'm not the landowner. But I do realize eventually there's going to have to be some preventive measures, maybe for the next tenant or the landowner, just to be cognitive of it, because you have a lot of large trees. So I try to do my part, and as I always said, wherever I lay my hat, no, I ain't no Rolling Stone, but wherever I am, I make it better before, I make it better after I've got there. You know, each one teach one. You know, because if you guys had seen what this place looked like when I first got here, I guarantee you, none of you would have moved here. I mean, we could have shot the drug scene in Jungle Fever in this, because it was so terrible. It was crazy. It was terrible. But I saw the diamond in the rough, and I knew what it could be if somebody put some love into it, put some time in it. It's just like your jewelry. Yeah, you got to take it off. You got to clean it. Sometimes you got to polish it. And that could be the same thing of how you're navigating your life too. It's like, you may have the skill set, but it might be something that you might have to tweak. And you may have heard it in constructive criticism. Because you know what I'm saying? One thing I learned about haters, and I'm not going to make this about them, but a hater will always speak truth when it comes to what you need to fix, if you're willing to listen. But you say, well, how does that benefit me? Because indirectly, they're giving you the blueprint to make you the best you. But then again, and when you master that, what do they have to complain about anyway? They just empowered you. And some of y'all might not even realize your next step up is right there in front of you if you take it. But be wary. Not every promotion is a progression. Not all money is good money either. So be mindful. Sometimes God will open the window up so you can look at it, look out of it. But what you realize is instead of focusing on the window, take note of the environment the window is in. Maybe it's time to change the environment. Especially if you know what you bring to the table. And I say that with all humility. And that's for the intended heart, intended mind. Because at the end of the day, it's about free will and choice. Because sometimes, in a blink of an eye, 5 years will come and go. Just like you can't get back these last 12 minutes. This is nothing about validation, but just know this. God brought you here to hear this at this moment, only to motivate your next blessing. But nonetheless, I wanted to follow through. I really believe these next 6 months are going to be very pivotal. I know I always say, well, this next year. But think of it, fam. We are in the halfway point of September. We blink twice. We'll be ringing in the new year. So just think about this. If you break down your year in 4 months intervals, you should already be figuring out what the next 4 months are going to look like, because the 4 months that you already thought of are your action steps. Your third 4 month should be your assessment. And your last 4 months should be your celebration, because you put the work in. At the end of the day, it's about what you find important and what you wish to claim. Remember, you're blessed. It's those who don't want you to see your blessing to convince you not to claim it. Have a great weekend. Well, you're on the backside of it now, so I hope that you allow yourself to rest, reflect, stay grounded, prepare to sidestep the negative, because you have some people that will not do the work. And you can't make nobody do anything they don't want to do. But the one thing is for sure is this: you have control of who you are. So God's praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And for that, It helps me discern mine. Have a great weekend and a great week, fam. You deserve it. Peace.